here. So this actually, that shouldn't be that. Let's go. What's going on, y'all? All right, so we're going to be getting into the workout. So we're doing a little bit of a pivot. Rose had a scheduling conflict that we kind of realized last minute. So you're still going to be getting a workout, but it's going to be with me going through a band workout. We're going to be doing upper body. Feel free to follow along. Sharon, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. If you have questions on the products I'm using, anything you see in the carousel, or the workouts that we're doing, or anything related to that, feel free to let me know in the comments as I'm going back and forth between the exercises. I will be checking the comments and offering up some insight. I'm also just now getting our live stream set up on TikTok, and then we will be ready to go. All right, so let's just open this up. We'll add our products. So I got products added in here. I got to make sure. So for all of them, I always like to add the products that I'm using. If you're watching on TikTok live or you're watching on Amazon, we always have the products feature that I'm demonstrating. You can ask questions related to it. If you're watching on like Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or LinkedIn as well, feel free to, let's get LinkedIn on here too. Boom. Uh-oh, that's too long of a title. So that you can, again, have questions. Also, feel free to bookmark this if you want to go back and follow along for the workout. We're building, the goal is to like build an actual workout video series so that you can follow along. This is part of our resistance band and 100-day coaching program. I always like modify and adjust it obviously to the individual. Like the workout I'm doing today would have been a little bit different with Rose here versus not, but you still get that fun in. You know what I mean? Not mean, y'all. All right, so we're just going to add in all our products here on TikTok. Bam. But this, again, we're going to have lots of like the fitness stuff. I got my hydration station behind me. We got coffee over here. We got the band rack kind of hanging. So we got the pull-up bar. We're going to be using that for, again, an upper body variation. I got some attachments we're going to be using on there. So we got the whole dealio set up. And again, the goal for this and really the entire year of 2026 is building workout programs with just the band set. We're going to have different attachments that go along with it, but everything I'm demonstrating and doing, you can do with just the LOF band set. And that was the whole point, was being able to do a kind of year-long program to show you what's possible. So you guys will follow along in the journey, hopefully, and be able to see my transformation as I'm continuously adding on muscle, being able to continuously improve my VO2 max training and all the pieces related to that. Okay, so let's pull up our studio. Boom. And we'll get into live. Let's see, make sure it pulls up the right thing here. Why is it pulling up midday with yoga? Should be this one right here. Let's go live. There we go. Video source. Boom. Bam. There we go. Bam. A little bit of that echo, but we can go live from here. Wait for it. Wait for it, y'all. Just getting live on all the platforms. Looks like we're live. Okay, beautiful. Let's add the video, though. Where's my... All right. Hey, y'all. Can you see me? Let's just make sure we're good on TikTok. I'm going to get working into this workout. I just want to make sure the video is good with where I'm at. So it doesn't look like the actual video is over. There we go. Okay. All right. Let's open up the event. There we go. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. So out of that, we got this in here. All right, let's get started. So the first thing we're going to get started with, hello. What's up, Elijah? So kudos to you. Again, also for everyone watching, the first person to comment on each platform gets a $50 LOF gift card if you screenshot it and email it to me. So I'm going to drop that in the comments as well. Let me actually just pull that up so I can pin that as the top comment, and then we'll get started with our workout. So again, Elijah, if you want that $50 gift card to LOF, my birthday's in 4 days. What? Okay, Q, I see you. Happy early birthday. Again, if you take that screenshot first, you send it to my email, I got you. And you can use that. Oh, yeah, happy early birthday. What's up? How you celebrating, by the way? Let's pull up our body doubling and get our kind of giveaway in the comments, and then we'll get started on the rest of the fun. All right, drop that in the comments. I got you guys, and we'll get started on the workout. Bam, boom, bam. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to get warm. We're going to bring our body temperature up with doing 2 minutes on the ball. Then I'm going to do 2 to 3 minutes shadow boxing. All right, got to go. Pieces. Thanks for dropping by, saying hey. And let's get our workout on. So we got upper body today. Again, this is going to be a band-focused upper body workout. I'm going to just pull up the program. Boom. Let's go to my dash for the day. That'll have my workout here. So I want to show you guys something actually really cool. I'm going to do a little screen share. Unfortunately, you guys on Amazon and TikTok, you're not going to see this, but I'll try and see if I can swing around my camera. And I want to show you literally just how cool and accessible workouts are. So check it out. Check it out, right? Here's what we're going to do. So you can see I'm drinking my water goal. I got my upper body workout today. We're going to get into it. This is kind of the plan. But now I'm modifying this entire workout program for purely just bands. So the first superset calls for as you can see, a barbell bench press and a lat machine wide grip pull down. But again, we're going to be substituting with bands. I just want to show you guys again how simple it is. We literally hit our swap button for each, and we'll be able to get into it. So with that being said, I'm going to get set up for our banded press and our banded pull down. All right. Let me turn the sink off. But first, again, we're getting warmed up here. Let's get the lights on. A little dim. So I'm going to get my workout started here. Strength training. We're going in. Bam. Started. And then I've got my Clean Nutria pre-workout. I'm going to finish up. I actually didn't even finish from the workout yesterday, so I saved some for today. So I'm gonna have 1.5 servings of my pre-workout. But again, I like getting, even when I'm doing just upper body, I like doing 2 minutes of different types of jiu-jitsu warm-ups, whether it's stability on the ball, just going through different hip activation and movements. I find it really, really helpful just across the board. And especially interesting lately, man, my shoulders and my hips, I've been just going through it, really the left side of my body. I've had a right rotator cuff injury I've been nursing since July. It's finally now really starting to progress, and at least not only heal, but I'm getting some strength back. But I'm working, actually get to Dr. Andy followed with a PT. I'm going to do some combination of in-person and remote PT work with. But then ironically, literally 2 days ago, Wednesday, doing jiu-jitsu, I don't know what I did. There wasn't one specific movement that jumped out, but I can now feel my shoulders just kind of sore, a little stiff. So we're going to do a little bit of extra warming up for that today. But my left side, my hip, calf, knee, this whole side of my body from just having a ongoing hip injury from Muay Thai has shown up for 8 years now, 9 years, actually going on 10. Wow. It's been pretty much a decade of doing different types of PT, strength training, and ultimately I'm trying to put off any kind of surgery or long-term procedure, because I find that surgeries become dated quite quickly. Technology is constantly adapting. So really the move for me would preferably be doing stem cell and stuff like that, but we're just trying to facilitate what's reasonable given the current status. So I'm going to be talking to my PT about my hip, shoulder, and seeing what Dr. Andy can do with me here. So we got about a couple more seconds, and I'm going to get a little bit looser with the bands and shadow boxing. So again, you don't need to have a ball for this part of the warm-up. This is kind of an extra bonus I like to personally throw in, but again, you don't need to have the physio ball for this. But with the band set, this is something you're going to want to have. I'm going to start with my yellow band, which is our lightest set, just to, again, get my shoulders warm, the scapula, the whole pretty much upper body area. Now I'm just going to slide over our floor mats here as well. And then what I'll do is I'm going to bring up a little bit of this camera angle so you guys can kind of see a little bit more. We'll bring it up over here. We'll get into the front. Boom. And again, if you guys got questions as I'm going through it, as we're getting warmed up, feel free to let me know in the comments. In between my sets, I'll be jumping in, checking it out. Also, I think I might, if I got the time, I should have the time today. I'm going to throw in a kind of interval jump rope set, little EPOC hit finisher at the end from a metabolic standpoint. we'll break down why that's beneficial, how I like to use it at the end when we get there. And then I'm going to do this for about like 2 minutes, and then I'm going to take a minute just to do some additional scapula activation and warm-ups, because I can, like, again, feeling that shoulder on my left side especially, but both shoulders, especially having just a career in fighting and athletics. I find when I'm not as rushed, like today, I don't have to jump immediately into a call. I have a little bit of extra time. I got a buffer. So I'm probably going to take this workout and make it an hour instead of like 40, 45 minutes, maybe even an hour and a half. We shall see. Yeah, we got like 30 seconds, get my heart rate up. Also, shout out to wearing pretty much Kufandi head to toe today, except for my hat. We got the LOF hat on. But I just dropped a Kufandi sponsored little video with some new outfits I got. Also, how, in general, I want you guys to think about this, how using rewards can help with your workout and routine adherence. So we as people benefit from what's called positive reinforcement. That means if we do something, if we get rewarded for it, our brain wants to do it more. Especially if you have ADHD. That's like a big dopamine-driven mechanism. So I say that to say, I made a video how I am using some of the clothing I get from Kufandi. I time it around when I'm sticking to a new workout program. I reward myself with a couple of new picks. And I think it's a really powerful tool that you guys can leverage. Or if you're looking to get your partner some Valentine's Day attire, get your man something right, for my ladies watching, or for my fellas watching, if you got a male partner as well, get your guys something you care about, or for your own self, have some self-care. Clothing can be a really impactful one, again, because not only rewarding yourself, but how you get to show up, like how you get to look, how you get to present yourself. You feel good when you look good, and then when you feel good, you do good, as the cliche saying goes. But there's actually, again, data to back that. I can show you the peer-reviewed journals that will support an impact of performance and how impactful how you present yourself can be, not only how you feel, but how others perceive you. Oh, yeah, it's feeling good on the shoulders, getting some nice activation. Okay. Good, so we got a little bit, again, a little extra scapular work. I'm going to do one more thing for today, just because of, again, where my shoulder blades are at. What I'm going to do, actually, we're going to go with our black LOF bands, the long loops. This is going to range anywhere from like 25 to 60 pounds of resistance. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just literally loop it through on my pull-up rack here. And you don't need this. You could just use, each one of our band sets comes with a door anchor. I could just be swapping pull-up bar set with a door anchor, but I just like to use the pull-up bar set to display the bands as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a pad and I'm going to do a kneeling scapular retraction. So this is technically a great actual like back support, or you can even use it for your legs for stretching. So Shikarino, if I'm saying that right. I think that's such a great thing. But I'm going to just literally do it for a kneeling scapular retraction. So I'll bring you guys down here so you can kind of see a little bit more of what I'm talking about. Boom. You see I got the pad there. Bring it down just a little bit. And what we're focusing on here is getting some good tension in the band. So I'm getting a nice little pull here. And then all I'm doing is just, again, squeezing my shoulder blade back. Get a little bit more tension. I want some good kind of, yeah, there we go. So just doing one set of 15 so we can get the scapula moving, or fancy way of saying the shoulder blades, just getting them to glide, move, the muscles around it to activate. And also just the actual shoulder capsule itself. Want to lubricate it, get the tissue around it supported, activated. Yeah, we just got one round of that, one quick set. Getting all the muscles activated, kind of feeling good. Now, we're going to go into the first superset, which is going to be a banded chest press, supersetted with a banded pull down. Now, what I'm going to do for the pull down is a little bit of a modified option. So I also really do like using this bar. This is, again, an added accessory. This doesn't actually come with our band set, but I might be working this in and out throughout today. I'm going to set it off to the side for now. And what we're going to do is I'm going to go with our purple bands, which goes from 35 pounds to 85 pounds worth of resistance. At the long range, it's 85 pounds, meaning when it's fully stretched. At the short range, kind of loose right that, it starts at 35 pounds. So I'm going to get one in each hand. And this is where we kind of upgraded the band set to have these long, bigger clips and clamps, so it's easier to clamp on and be able to get our band set up the way we want to. So I say all that to say, we can get one on the purple side, on the right. Bam. I'm going to put this puppy in. What's cool about, again, using this particular band set, I can do it both for my pulls and my presses. I could even technically just clamp it right onto, I don't even actually need this. I could just clip it right onto the pull-up bar set, because they have their own clamps as well. So I'm going to save these, because we might even use during. Let's look and clip it right on here. Bam. Gotta love it. Easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. So again, I got my purple, Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my right hand, flip it on. So I was saving this clamp. It's going to be easier to flip it on over here. And then we'll do the left. We'll do our pulls. And then we'll do the same thing with the presses. Now, the cool thing is, because I don't want to kind of switch it, I'm going to do it into a more of a decline press angle and position this time around. But it will still have the valuable kind of stuff. Where's my other clip? Oh, I thought I had my second one. I got to get my other one now. Slide this through. So let me just grab my other clip for this handle, and then we're going to get into our pull and our press. Usually I like to have everything set up ahead. It's how much I thought I did this time, but I was missing one of my clips. So we're just going to put this puppy on, get it into our purple, and I'll show you the rest of the set. So once this is set, the rest is kind of a lot faster and easier. So first things first, I want to get to where there's good tension in the band. So I'm going to sit a little bit further back. I want to make sure you guys will be able to see. Yeah, that should be good. But where I'm sitting, let me just bring this kind of camera angle down here a little bit so you guys can kind of see. Bam. And again, if you guys got questions, let me know. I'm going to be checking our chat here. Okay. So we got, again, starting with some good tension. Now I'm just going to pull. The only thing I do like to have is just like a good foot anchor. So I'm going to kind of like pivot here. Be able to drive into, yeah, see how it's kind of having me slide. So I just like to anchor my foot into the cap. $13. All right, so yeah, 15 on that one. So now what we're going to do is we're going to superset this. Basically, just going to be able to swing it around and be able to go with our press. So I'll be able to, again, change my grip and kind of positioning. So now I'm turning it into a, what would be considered like more of a decline press instead of a flat bench press, just because of the angle. So this is where, fun fact, when you're using the pull-up bar, positioning and angle becomes important. So really, the kind of position this is have you guys come into the room instead of having it come out. The way the anchoring point is here, you want the resistance pulling into the door. I was kind of having it pulling out, so it became unhooked. So we're going to switch the angles. Come with me. Check this out. Check this angle position. So I'll show you guys what I'm talking about with this anchor. It's kind of like a little sus about it. I was thinking it would work decently well. So notice how this angle and this anchor is set up here. You guys get to see the girl's kind of new setup bedroom. So see how the way this is anchoring against this, when I'm pulling it this way, this inevitably pops off. But if I pull it this way, it actually like reinforces this driving into the wall, this driving into the frames. So we're just going to go this way. The lights on. Et voila. Get this towel out of here. Get to the bathroom. We'll go round two. This is the fun, I guess, of doing it live. You don't get to edit this stuff out. This is the real stuff that we get to consider sometimes. So again, I'm doing a declined kind of position. And then I'm also going to show you on the next set how you can add a ball to use as a positioning tool. So we're going to take a minute. That's round one. That's going to be kind of like a warm-up round because I honestly thought the 85 pounds of resistance were going to be enough based on where my shoulders are. It's actually feeling quite good. So what we're going to do is we're going to swap out purple band, and we're going to throw in our green, which is going to be at the top end of resistance, 120 pounds per hand. And then we'll just take off again the clips. That's why I like these bigger, kind of like fatter clips. It's just so much easier when you're dealing with the bigger bands to trade them and swap them. So I'm going to turn that off too from the noise perspective. Throw this over here and throw this right on. So look, again, in this beefier band, way easier to trade this side out. Boom. Slide that in. Then we go to the opposite side. How's everybody's Friday going, by the way? I realized the kids are actually getting out of school, so Carrie's going to pick them up. Now, let's get another green band on. Just sliding. I'm going to click this in over here. Yep, left, right. And now, so here's what I was talking about before. We could use the ball. is for the lat pull down, especially, I can actually position myself prone on the ball. So that means I lay belly down and I could get a little bit more for the lat specifically. So I'm going to kind of show you guys what I mean by that from the positioning on the ball. I'll change the angle here so you can, again, see, not that far down, see what I'm talking about with the ball position. So, again, I can kind of get into that prone position. I like, even when possible, sometimes getting across to the bands to give a different resistance prompt and cue. And then, again, get belly down, anchoring my feet. So we're trying to get it where I'm still positioned, or there's tension at the top end. So now as I pull, I get even more resistance. So now we're going to switch it where we do, again, another variation of positioning on the ball. Okay. So what I mean by that is, check this out, being able to, instead of doing a standing decline chest press position, I can go a seated variation. I could use the ball for this as well, but usually when it comes to the ball, here's the tricky thing that you might have even seen on lat pull down is it's going to slightly move. So you want to have something you can still anchor your feet into, or your legs. I was able to use a little frame behind me to anchor my feet. When it comes to the pressing, I don't actually in this position have anything to press it against. So usually I like to use a wall. So for this one, I'm just going to go with the seated variation. So what I mean by that is check it, check it, check it, check it, check it. We're going to come down here. We're going to just kind of scooch up a little bit. And then I'll be able to get kind of declined chest press position that I want. So again, notice I've got that kind of like loaded up, and I'm going to just press and be able to, honestly, I'll be the honest, like I'm thinking about the camera angle more than my own positioning, because in a perfect world, I think I'm just going to go standing, because I can actually like root in and anchor to the frame. Well, I wanted to try and show you guys a different position. So we're not going to do that for this one. We're just going to kind of keep it up so you can kind of, again, because the idea is I'm rooting into the ground for this one. That's the most helpful. If you find yourself sliding, it's going to take away from your maximal strength. So being able to, again, root, press, even here, like the top end, this is the tricky part. Why variable resistance is really helpful is being able to control through the end range of motion. See, like I'm even having, because that variable is firing back a little bit, so I want to have even more control. So see, I want to have that nice control right there versus like shooting it out and coming right back. You want to, as you go, have a control back. So we got 15 on each. It's round 2 down. We're going to take a minute to rest. We're going to end up, I think I'm going to do 4 rounds on this one. Then we're going to go into our next superset. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to grab a quick sip, play with the camera angle here a little bit. And again, I'll check in on any maybe questions that we have here. Let's see if I can, yeah, position it that way. So you guys can kind of see. Let's grab a little sippy sip. We got like 5 more seconds. And then we're going back into our third round. Let's get those bands out of the way here. So again, this is the one thing I would say when it comes to banded training, being able to have a bench is a great option. I'm kind of trying to go through different positions, from a camera angle perspective to show you guys. But in a perfect world, we use the door either as a frame that we're pressing off of or an anchor point, not just for the bands themselves, but for our own like body. But using like the ball and these different things is great. I'm just trying to like position it where you guys can actually see with the camera. If I wasn't live, I'd be able to do like multiple sets, pause, and then reset, but I just don't want to take the time to do that because this is actually a workout. With that being said, we're past the rest period. Let's go into round number 2. So again, for this one, we're going to go back to a seated position, not a prone on the ball position. We're just going to go to a seated lat pull down. So I'm going to get distance so I have nice tension in the band for the full range of motion, crossing them over. And again, I'm rooting. Ideally, again, this is where I would use the door when it's closed. And that's why I like using the anchor more for this kind of an example. But for now, I'm just going to kind of like root my feet into the ground to help from a driving perspective and get nice control. So even here, like notice how it's like slightly pulling me forward. That's where, again, having our legs to anchor into something becomes really helpful. So here it wants to like pull me. So just using my feet to anchor. But even there, it's not like perfect. I'm slightly sliding just because of the amount of tension. So I want to show you guys one other variation that we can use here. And I've got about 4 sets or 4 reps up. We can do a kneeling variation where I do the same thing. So I'm kneeling and pulling. So this, at least my feet help anchor. So I'm going to bring you guys up so you can kind of see that. The only drawback to this is the angle. I want to get as low as possible to get the angle that I want for my lats. We'll just switch, do the same thing on the opposite side. Again, it's not the end of the world, but the kneeling is helpful from that, where I could even go both my knees again and kind of sitting back and pulling. But I find having the foot in front helps give a counter pressure, especially as you're doing more weight and doing more resistance. The more you can have a counter pressure positioning is really helpful. Okay, so now let's go into round number 3 for our declined position chest press. We're kind of getting, and again, I'm using my back foot as the counter weight or the counter positioning and driving. Got 15. We're going to go one more set on this one. Take a minute rest. Go through that one more time on each. And again, for this one, I'm going to do the kneeling or the half kneeling, 1 knee down, 1 foot up, to show you that kind of counter positioning and weighting. Yeah, again, I wasn't actually planning on doing this in the girls' room today. So you guys get a little like sneak peek into our updated lighting and fun setup, which I'm actually going to do a whole nother video on, from the new like loft bed setup that we have, the lights, the nets, like all that fun stuff, which whether you have kids or not, my parents out there, you guys know, or for your own selves, you want to get organized. Oh yeah, Nina, what's up, homie? Hey. Nina, I figure you'll appreciate this. Check out the kids' new like loft setup sitch. Ooh, we got all the art on the wall. Don't worry, Amazon. I'll show you guys too. You guys can see. Now it's time to work. So we got, again, bam. This is actually all stuff from Amazon. Like things either ordered or gifted. But the loft setup, the lights, the nets, all this stuff. Amazon available. So much space for activities. Yep, you know it. All right. So again, we're getting into our kneeling. Now I'm trying to think about how I can position the camera here to get the best shot. So while we're live, see if I can just show you guys my kneeling kind of position. Same thing over here. I'll see so you guys can kind of see the kneeling position here. Again, by kneeling, again, I'm able to kind of like root into the ground a little bit more. I think you guys can kind of see that. And again, the reason I wasn't starting with this is ideally I want like, see this lower angle where like this kind of angle position is what I'm going for lats, but this is still going to work. It just changes it from like a wide lat grip, like lat pull down to more of a row variation. It still works. And it's just a little different. Switch to the sides. So now we're going to get superset that with our decline chest press variation. So let's bring you guys up here. Come check it. Come check it. What's up? What's up? I'm sure the girls love them. Yeah. No, the girls are loving the space here. The trick, as always, is getting them to actually sleep in here all night. They start to sleep here. They always make their way into bed with daddy. So now here's the other thing too. What we can do, check this out. I was just thinking to combine and show you guys another kneeling demonstration. I can do the same thing I was doing my lat pull down and do the same thing from a kneeling perspective. So again, I have one knee down and I'm going into that chest press position. So I'm pressing so this is the only, again, the trick that I will say is like, now I'm going to have my back foot rooted up against the doorstop. This will help. So you won't see me sliding and being able to still get the same. So you could do it kneeling instead of standing. It's just, again, how you root yourself, how you position yourself. This is another helpful kind of like my back foot is stopping me from sliding. Versus if I'm out here, notice as I'm pressing, there's not as much for me to anchor onto. So I end up sliding. Switch, do the same thing opposite side. Now, if you do have any like knee issues or knee sensitivity, just getting the pad I was using before will be perfectly fine for most of us. Bam. And there we go. So that's our first kind of comboed compound set. Now, let's check the next thing we're getting into, which I believe is going to be, again, obviously another push-pull variation. We should be able to do it standing now. So we had that. Yeah, I'm going to do bent over row with an overhead press. And so again, we're going to use our anchor here for both of those. I'm just going to modify this a little bit. And this is where being able to actually use the pull-up bar behind me can once again become helpful for different things. But for this one, we actually don't need as much. What's actually going to be more helpful is using our door anchor. So we can go back into the other room to get our setup, and I'll show you the difference of what I'm talking about. So again, we're going to take that pull-up bar off. We're going to use the regular actual door anchor that comes with our band set. So check it out. We take our pull-up bar off. We'll just kind of set that down over here. And now what we're going to use is a nice beefy door stopper. We just slide this right under the door so that it'll catch, and then we slide the bands we want right through here or clip them on. So we're going to do that. Door stopper right here. Anchor right under, and then now I have a nice little anchor point I can slide the bands or clip the bands onto. I can also do another anchor point up top. We can basically put it wherever we want. So, with that being said, we're going to start with a row, and for our row, we're going to still use that same kind of anchored position. We'll do a warm-up set here. Go with our purple bands. Bam. And the cool thing is we can just kind of either, I could clip it on or I'm just sliding it through. So now I have an anchor point and I'm sliding it through, and I can clip my handles onto each side. And if I need more, I could always clip on more as well. Just take this one off with the green band, and shabam shabam, we're ready to rock. Okay. And I can use, again, the same anchor point for our overhead pressing, which I'm probably going to modify into either Cuban or probably some kind of Arnold press variation. But we shall see how it feels. And this is where what I've learned is really helpful is using our app or writing down your resistance so that you can progress. So sometimes doing the first round is a helpful warm-up set. From thereafter, though, I know that this is going to be an adequate resistance load based on my last workout. And the only thing that the caveat to today is because of my shoulder, I'm being a little bit more conservative on my reps and my resistance. But each workout, the way I like to program it is when it comes to like a linear progression, we're trying to increase our strength overall. Again, going up 10 to 20% per workout. If we're doing like an undulating style where it's up and down, you may have one day where it's more speed focused. So you're not doing as much weight. You're maybe more focusing on, again, speed, volume, and the reps related to that. And then you're doing a power day or an absolute strength day where it's, again, lower volume, higher weights, might even be a little bit slower as well. But for this one, we're doing a little bit of both. So I got my anchor point, and I'm going palms down, pulling up. We'll do one set facing this direction, then we'll do one set the opposite direction, keep switching back and forth. So, we got 15. And again, next set, I'll end up changing the camera angle so you guys can see from the anterior side, see what's going down. But I'm already getting a little bit warmer. So I'm going to take this hoodie off and go into my overhead press variation. We're going to our next press variation, which I'll probably turn into a version of an incline press more than a shoulder press. All right. And then how's it going, by the way, Nina, if you're still hanging out in the chat? How's life these days? How's things? And everybody else, how you guys doing? Talk to me about questions here on the products, workouts, anything like that. Or even feedback. Because here, I'll be honest with you guys, this workout is kind of like a plan B. Originally, I was supposed to have our collab partner, Rose, and she's been crushing it, man. I got to give her a lot of props. She already got her day one workout in this week. She was on last week. Fortunately, we had like a scheduling conflict for today, and I just wanted, since I already scheduled everything, I at least want to get a workout in with you guys. We may do a pop-up one together this weekend, but we'll be back to the normal schedule next week, 11 o'clock, keeping it rocking. Or at least on Fridays. We may do it at 12, we may do it at 11. But my point is I'm getting a workout in, and I'm also playing with all the different angles and modifying things because of my shoulder. So I love feedback. If you're like, hey, dude, honestly, this is like helpful, this is trash, anywhere in between, I just want to know. Okay, so with that being said, we're going to go into a kind of more of an incline press variation versus just a straight up shoulder press. So what I mean by that is instead of just pressing straight overhead, I'm going to turn this into a kind of modified like incline. So I'm probably going to have to play with the resistance here. Yeah. What I mean by that is that's what's cool about this is I can turn it from a kneeling into a seated quickly, and it will take some of the actual tension out and kind of give me the resistance I'm looking for. Now, because it's pulling me back, I can use the door frame as an anchor, but I feel confident kind of rooting myself here. I won't be sliding back. Notice I'm not really sliding. That means I'm kind of right in the right position, and I don't need to necessarily anchor myself as much. I do like to probably even slide forward a little bit and see if I can cross my feet to see if this anchoring helps. Probably not. It's probably going to make me slide. Yeah. Okay, we're going to take a minute rest. It's around 1 down again. We're going to go for 4 sets. Now, this is where I can use the ball again. The ball will be helpful because I feel like I have just enough space between me and the door so I can press my back against it. And again, act as an anchor point versus using my legs to root myself in, which is really great if I want to engage my hamstrings to like curl me and anchor me into place. But I can kind of feel it's counterproductive for what I'm going for. This is where we're just going to substitute and swap a little. And this is what I will also say. The cool thing about being a coach, I can just like adjust these things off the top of my head. But in our app, where you get all of our workouts from, we actually have swaps and substitutes for all of our movements. So let's say you have to do this stuff, you don't have a coach to ask in real time. In our app, you can hit substitute, and it'll give you altered options or altered exercises that hit the same muscle groups, but you can adjust it for your space. You can adjust it for the equipment that you have. You can adjust it for if you need an easier or harder variation. We have all that built into our app, which is, again, why I did that, why our team did that. We want to account for these types of situations. All right, I got 10 more seconds. All right. Now, again, what I can do is I can still use the ball even for the row, but I don't have anything to anchor. I think the standing is just going to be best for the bent over row piece. Now, I mentioned before, we're going to change the camera angle. So now you guys are going to come over here with me so you can see from a different angle. You can kind of position it here. You guys will be here. And you can kind of see, again, from the anterior side, the front side of how I like to position it. And how we're going to get our grip. I'm getting my position again, nice bent over row, getting full extension. And then we're pulling right into the rib cage. Again, holding for 1 to 2 seconds. Notice what I'm doing here. I'm going, palms are starting down. As I row, I'm going into that supinated grip, turning them up. Now we're going to get our ball, use that as the anchor point for our incline chest press variation. So I'll bring you guys back over here so you can kind of see. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, looks like we're in a good spot. Perfect, perfect. Now I'm just going to kind of center this a little bit for the ball. Now again, notice I'm going to drive. I'm going to use the ball to kind of anchor my back and drive me into the wall so that as it pulls me back, the ball is kind of supporting me as if a bench were to. So I don't necessarily need to root myself into the ground the same way I would. Ooh, I gotta switch my handles. I realized switch my position. Didn't switch my hands. So again, got that position, and we're trying. And that's the cool thing with the bands. Again, you can adjust it based on the anchor and angle that you want. Enough back. Now 1 minute rest. Then we're going to go into round number 3. Yeah, just being able to anchor and press into the ball a little bit just helps me get a little bit more push out of each rep and not having to engage my legs to like drive and curl my hamstrings into the ground, which allows me to focus most on my pressing. Which, hey, if you want more back of your leg hamstring integration, pull the ball out, pull a bench out, don't use that. Just literally like curl your hamstrings and drive. You get more out of your torso, but it really takes away actually from the full challenge of the actual lift itself as far as the maximal strength you can exert, which it depends. What's your intention? If your intention is to try and get the most out of your core, cool, do it that way. If your intention is to get the most out of the individual exercise for the localized muscle group, i.e. chest, triceps, shoulders, be able to position yourself accordingly, which is a fancy way of saying either have a bench, a ball, or the floor or the door itself to position yourself against versus just holding in space. If you're holding it in space, like the first round I did, that's fine, but you're going to use more core and use more legs, which is, again, a part of our core. But it's not actually giving as much of a challenge to the chest and the shoulders and the triceps. So it's all trades based on intention. So that's the whole rest period. Let's go round 3. Now again, for round 3, I'm going to have the row positioned again on the posterior side. Actually, maybe I'll show you guys a lateral side. So I'll position the camera so you guys can actually see a lateral angle here, which is a fancy way of saying from the side shot. We'll do from the side over here. Bada bing, bada boom. And we'll do from the side over here as well. You guys can kind of see again this side angled position. And again, I'll get myself into the right angle so you guys can kind of see what I'm looking for as far as the hinge, the back positioning, and then also as I'm growing. Again, I'm going palms down to start, and then as I'm rowing, I'm pulling into my rib cage. Palms up, hold, come out nice, slow, and controlled. Rowing again, 8 to 12 or 10 to 15. So now again, we're going to add the ball in for the incline chest press. And I'll try and keep again the same like side profile. I'm just gonna try and position the camera accordingly so you guys can kind of see my setup and what I'm kind of shooting for here from an angle perspective. So come on down, y'all. Come on down to Funky Town. And again, trying to give you guys as many angles as possible to serve you from the positioning and the setup here. So I want you guys to understand how to, again, set yourselves up on your own. And again, what I will say, if you're new to training in general, get a coach, like just across the board. Coaches are here. We're here for a reason. We've like gotten the training, the specialty, and just the accountability component. That's why Rose knows it, and that's why we have these sessions. But also now our kind of business model, we can take health insurance. So it's more accessible than ever. Being able to, if you have health insurance, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Aetna, United Healthcare specifically, we're adding in Cigna. We're working on all these other insurance companies. If you have insurance, you want to leverage it for your coaching, we got you. So again, I can have my legs out straight, or I can have them bent. I find it helpful to have them bent to like root into the ground, just like when we're traditionally bench pressing, driving into the ball. Just, again, bracing and pressing. Then notice I like the bands on the inside. We can put them on the outside to help that keep the elbows tight, but I just don't like how it feels personally. So I keep them on the inside. See, peak sets is where it really helps having that back rest to drive into. 3 more, and I'm like feeling it. All right, so you got a minute to rest. Now let's see what we got coming up next on our training. So we got, that was 3 sets, even though I did 4 on the last one. We're gonna do 3 sets on this one. Now we've got, it's calling for arms, but I've been doing arms separately at this point, honestly. And then Adela, thank you for the follow. I see you. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just kind of finish it up with, this is calling for a core finisher. In the program I've split up, I do like to try and engage core 2 to 3 times a week. So that means when I'm doing upper body and lower body, having at least one core movement for both. But what we're going to do is it's calling for a high plank. Instead of doing a high plank, what we're actually going to do instead is I'm going to substitute it for a pull-off press, which is a fancy way of saying using the bands, having it as an anchor point to the door, pressing it straight out. I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about here, and then we will get into it. So come on up here with me. Whoop. Let's get the angle and positioning set up, and we'll get our last exercise in here. So I'm going to kind of position you guys right here so you can kind of see, and I think this will work best for both of our camera angles and shots right here. And again, I'll show you how we're going to anchor this as well. So we're going to pull out the door stopper or door anchor. And instead, again, I want to be pressing it straight out, so we're going to match accordingly. I'm going to position it on the side of the door. I'm also going to, we don't even need a lot of resistance for this one. So I can pull out purple, probably drop it down to either our black or our red band for the resistance. So anywhere from like 15 to 30 pounds worth of total resistance. Doesn't have to be much, especially for the volume I'm shooting for here. And then I'm probably going to finish with a 10-minute epoch finisher, which is a fancy way of saying I'm going to do 30 seconds of jump rope, high knees, 2 minutes of light shadow boxing, do that for 4 rounds to just kind of finish from a metabolic standpoint to get the maximal calorie burn. Now, is this the most effective? That style isn't the most effective if you want to purely focus on muscle mass gain and strength, but I'm doing a combination of focusing on not only adding muscle, lowering my body fat a little bit, getting a leaner body composition while simultaneously improving my VO2 max, my aerobic work capacity, which is why I'm doing it in that fashion, versus just purely having the strength gain side. So again, the cool thing is, notice I'm going to start with the red band, and if I need to add a little bit more, I will. So I got my anchor point. I'm going to do it pretty much right at chest shoulder level. So the idea is as I'm extending out, the band is turning me. So I'm using my torso, my core, as well as my shoulders to hold me in place. Okay. And I don't even know if I need double bands. That's the cool thing too. I could turn a double band resistance and I could cut the resistance in half by just turning it into one. It's like simple to adjust, which is helpful in our like training progressions as well. But with that being said, talk through the whole rest period as per usual. Let's go one more exercise. We're doing 3 sets. We're going to go anywhere from 10 to 15 reps on this one. So again, I'm anchoring in with my feet, having good posture, and I'm going to be pressing out. So again, it wants to turn me, but I'm using my core and my body to maintain the anti-rotation. So this isn't just like an aesthetic. Yes, it'll get your core looking right, but it's a great functional development. So now we're going to trade sides. So I'm going to re-stack my hands. My opposite hand's going to go on top. The other hand's going to go on bottom. Again, I'm rooting in, anchoring in, getting my hips under me. And then we're just, whoop, there we go, driving out. I'm going to try and position myself so all the camera angles can see on this one. Let's see if I can try and angle this a little bit more this way so you guys can kind of see on this angle. And again, try. There we go. 3. Hey, I see you on YouTube. All right, so we got 15 reps each side. We're going to take a minute to rest. Kennedy, what's up, dude? You don't have school today or you just got out? So that's round 1. We're going to do 2 more rounds of that, so a total of 3. And then I'm going to finish again with some jump rope interval training, so I'll get the jump rope ready for that while we rest. So we got our jump rope ready while we're going through that. Oh, you didn't go? Okay. You feeling okay, Kenny, or you're just chilling at home today doing some downtime? Got like 15 more seconds, y'all, then we're going round number 2. All the water hydration. All right, so that's our 1-minute break. Let's go for round number 2. Feeling like duty. Yeah, I just didn't feel like going. I feel you. I feels you, bro. All right. Again, anchoring, getting our scapula or shoulder blades back and down, chest up, head kind of back, neutral position. Driving, anchoring. We're going for 10 to 15. We're going to switch sides. Same thing on the opposite side again. Kind of rooting in, shoulder blades down and back, rooting our feet in. 13. All right, so that's round 2 down. All right, take a minute rest. We'll go one more round. And then, okay, I come over and say, well, Carrie's going to get the kids right now. I would say message her because I'm going to be on calls till like 5 o'clock. I don't know if they're going to be coming right back home. Pretty sure they are. Get lunch, but they might be stopping to get food. So just message Carrie because I don't know what the nap schedule is like, all that good stuff. But yeah, and if depending on what we're doing, where we're at, we can even go for a walk later, all the kids. Carrie, baby Hope, the whole crew. We can go for a walk around the neighborhood. I know you've been asking to go for a walk for a while. And yeah, for everyone else watching, by the way, go outside, go for a walk. It's literally 20 degrees out where we are, and we're still down to go for a walk. Yeah, I'm not saying just because we do it, you need to do it. But the point is actually the benefit of walking is really so high, and the risk ratio is so low, even when weather isn't that great. I'm actually going to show you something really quick. That's part of this. This isn't even like a sponsorship plug. This was a gifted product that I got from a brand on Amazon, but they don't even sponsor me anymore. I just still use this Orlay winter down coat. Just get yourself a nice warm jacket. Even when it's like 20 degrees out, this thing keeps me so warm. It's meant, honestly, for the skiing, going on the slope, staying active. Get you a nice pair of gloves, a hat. Go outside, get a walk on. Doesn't matter if it's 20 degrees or 70 degrees. Get outside, get walking. The benefits are there. You got the jacket. Got my time to work out. But I just want to share that. Invest in a nice, warm coat. You'll be good. Can we go to the blue playground? What? Go play at the playground? Yeah, if we go for a walk, that would be fun. But yeah, get yourselves some nice warm winter attire. Get outside, get walking. It's good for you. And you get some nice sun. That's an interesting thing. The last data point I saw was 2016 even. 88 to 92, let's just say 90% for even numbers, of Americans are vitamin D deficient. The sun will give you vitamin D. Get outside. Again, this isn't prescription. This isn't medical advice. Talk to your doctor or whomever, but get outside if you can. All right, let's get our last round in. Switch. Let's stack. Let's get it. And there's our third and final round, y'all. So we take a minute here, get set up, and then I'm going to do 4 rounds of our EPOC training, which is 30 seconds, high knees, jump rope, trying to get our heart rate up into the VO2 max range. And then we're going to take 2 minutes to recover. Repeat that for 4 rounds. So it'll literally take 10 minutes in total, and we're good. Take the hat off, have the bald head out. You want to see the Mr. Clean look? The reason why I wear the hat is because this is actually an LOF hat. So you guys can actually get this on Amazon from the TikTok shop, or you can go to our Printful LOF apparel line and buy it. So I'm just trying to plug the apparel here, Kennedy, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I have no problems showing off the shiny head. I just shaved. I have to shave again. Keeping it fresh, you know what I mean, yo? All right, with that being said, let's get set up. It's time for jump rope. It's jump rope finishing time. And I'm going to hang up all these bands, put everything away, break it all down, so when the kids get home, it's not a crazy mess, which when I'm working out and Baby Hope's here, it's always a crazy mess. But Baby Hope's not here, and I'm going to be done working out. So it doesn't have to be a crazy mess. Know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, right, Kennedy? You know what I'm saying, yo. All right, let's get that jump rope in. So now I'm going to just reset the timer. I'm going to be going high knees. The only thing I'm mindful of is like the floor. I don't want to go too hard. I was even thinking I might, instead of doing the jump rope, I might even just do punch outs for my chest and back workout. So I think I might actually do that. We're going to swap the jump rope. We're going to do 30 seconds hard, high pace, getting my heart rate up to 164 or above, or 163 and above. And then we'll take a 2-minute kind of rest. I'm just trying to get a nice strong finish. Okay. Hopi bear, Hopi bar, capybara. Hope, 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 hope bear. Hopi bear. Kenny, you know what's up. All right, ready? Let's get going. So the idea here is I'm not in a traditional, like this would be a more traditional like boxing. Even here, you don't have to be like a fighter to do this. This is just a great burnout. But what I like to do is reinforce tight elbows and just keep a nice high pace. The other thing I can do, I'll show you in the next round, is just throwing harder combos. If you're more of a martial artist, boxer, kickboxer, Thai fighter, MMA fighter, and you want to actually work your conditioning, you can work just hard combos for 30 seconds, like it's the end of the round. Oh, yeah, right on time. So we're going to take a 2-minute rest. And this next round, I'll just do hard kind of combos. But while we're resting, I'm going to clean up at the same time. So you're going to see me come on and off the screen just to help get everything organized. So that when kids roll in with Carrie, it's not an absolute disheveled mess. Hey, what you doing, door stopper? Try and keep things a little bit sane around here. All of our bands, all of our stuff put away, jumpy ropes, all that goodness. You know what I mean? Kenny, you know. I know you, Kennedy. Except for this one right here. Look at all this stuff. We're just going to hang this up. Because the kids, like, Kenny, you know, kids love jumping and bouncing on this thing. It's a lot of fun. So we're going to leave those bands up. Here we got like 30 more seconds. Yeah. All the stuff. I'm going to do popcorn on the playground if we go. Oh, snap. You're a rebel. Doing popcorn on the playground? Getting crazy here, girl. Okay. And then honestly, now I'm getting a little cold, even though like doing high intensity for 30 seconds, those 2-minute cool downs literally keep me cool. So I want to keep my candy hoodie on, keep me kind of warm. You know what I mean? All right, we should have like 10 seconds. No, it's right at time. Perfect. Right at time. Let's go. Round number 2. Again, so now for this one I was mentioning, instead of just doing punch outs, we can do like combos. So you can actually just do like a high intensity pace where I'm throwing. But again, we're going for 30 seconds. So trying to just keep the output high. It's a great way to finish our resistance workouts. It's not just about strength gain. It's about, again, VO2 max training, output, and metabolic conditioning. Where we at? Yeah. Just because I'm not using my normal timer, I'm going to I'm going to have like an auditory cue. All right, it's 2 down, 2 to go. You got all the doors. And this is pretty much going to do it, y'all. After these next 2 rounds, we're going to finish up the workout. Normally when I'm working out with someone, I will have them go through a static stretch pull down. But This isn't going to be the last active thing I do today. So I like to save my static stretching for the end of the day. When I'm done with all my physical movement and all of that, done with playing with the kids, all the fun, right? But if you're following along at home, either live or a replay, the one thing I will invite you and encourage you to do is to do static stretching at the end of a workout to cool your body down, as well as breathing. And then also being able to do dynamic stretching to warm up. Let's see. Mikey, ticky, ticky, wicky. I don't know that one, Kennedy, but okay. Please over here for cycling. About 30 more seconds. We're going into round number 3. But again, kudos everybody. Thank you for watching. That you have been watching. Yeah, Kennedy, thanks for hanging in the chat. Again, we got 2 more rounds, but just wanted to say thanks once again. I'll be back for Sunday office hours. Again, make sure you're following and subscribing because I tend to do pop-up times more or less now because of scheduling dynamics. Like even today, we had the same time, but I had to move the theme of it because of scheduling stuff. Sunday, normally I do it like 5:45, 6:15 we've been playing with, but this Sunday I'll probably do it like 9 or 10 a.m. because we're going to go to, so yeah, Kendi, I think we're going to take the kids to Big Air. Actually, Anna can't come because she's going to be with her dad. I don't know. We'll figure it out, but I'm probably going to do a live stream earlier in the morning Sunday for the office hours. So make sure you guys are subscribing, following, and you can set a notification for when I go live so that you don't miss it. With that being said, time for round number 3. Get these punch outs, y'all. So yeah, we can go back to the punch outs. Just if you don't have a strong, let's say, boxing background, you don't even know any combos, you can always just go a nice simple 1-2. And even if you want their 1-2, literally just standing in a neutral stance and just straight reach out, high speed, it's going to get your heart rate up. And that's what we want. Here we go. Okay. It's round 3 down. We got 1 more round. We're going to take a 2-minute break. 1 more. And again, the cool thing about doing this type of training after, let's say you do a strength training, whether it's upper body, lower body, total body, you know, more bodybuilder splits like arms or chest, whatever you do. Again, if you don't just want to focus on muscle mass development and you also want to simultaneously work on your body composition, meaning gaining muscle, losing fat, or increasing your metabolic rate to lose fat, or impacting your VO2 max and your overall performance aerobically or conditioning or endurance-wise, adding in a what's called epoch-oriented finisher is really impactful. Again, this is 10 minutes. You can do it for 15 minutes. You can do it for, what I've seen on the data side is as little as 12 is metabolically beneficial, but even as little as like 8 can be impactful for other things, like your conditioning or your aerobic output. But what I'm getting at is doing 30 seconds high output, doing 1 to 2 minutes rest or low, and then repeating that and doing that for 10 to 15 minutes will increase your metabolism for the next 48 hours. So even while I'm sleeping, maybe I don't work out tomorrow, I'm just walking actively, my metabolic rate will be higher. Also, just weight training in general will do that. But this kind of helps maximize it. Oh, snap. I have 698 subscribers. Yeah, we're trying to go for that big 700. So again, if you guys aren't following, especially on YouTube, please follow on YouTube. We're right at about 700 subscribers. I'm trying to hit that 700 mark. Maybe we'll do something fun. I was thinking 1,000 subscribers, we're going to do a really fun giveaway. But if we hit 700 subscribers, we'll probably do a fun one as well. Kenny and everyone in the chat, let me know. What do you think would be a fun giveaway when we hit 700 subscribers? Something we can do to celebrate. With that being said, it is time for the last round, last 30 seconds. Let's punch it out. Trying to get the heart rate up. VO2 max range. And my shoulders are cooked right at the time. All right, that's pretty much going to do it, y'all. Let's see what you got. I get one. Thanks, Kenny. Yeah. And again, I don't also like, you don't have to force people to subscribe because honestly, sometimes just having people subscribe for the numbers doesn't really help. I want subscribers that are like active, that are going to see value from the content, because then they're going to actively engage with the channel. But hey, if your dad finds value or your grandma finds value from the content I'm putting out, I'd love to have them as subscribers. But I don't want to just hit like numbers just for the sake of how many subscribers I have. The goal is to have like a true audience that enjoys the content, you know, that are going to engage, find value. So if you guys do find value in this, I'd love to have you guys as part of the kind of community, following, subscribing, engaging in the content, asking questions, engaging in the comments, and just getting feedback too. Even if you're like, hey, Mike, this is trash, or this is boring, or you can improve here, or you come off too grifty, whatever. Or really, hey, dude, I found a lot of value in this. Sharing it with people is really helpful. Sharing it on your platforms, whatever. Sending it to a friend. We just put out I just launched a new YouTube channel specifically called Life of a Father _LOF, because I want to put out like dad content that's related to health, but not just on this channel. So I have a new channel up, and we put stuff up for Baby Hope, and I think it's really cute. I think you guys will like that. And you can kind of see we collab with this channel as well. And then, hey, how's it going? Thanks for dropping in and saying, hey, I appreciate it. We're actually just finishing up the workout now. I'm going to hit finish. I think that's an hour and a half, hour and 15 for the workout. So we went over a little bit. Normally I like to do 45-minute workouts, but I had extra time today. Yeah, Lori, I see you, dude. I am well. I'm doing good. I hope same for you. Yeah, good to see you. Thanks. I saw you on the other live stream. I appreciate you dropping into this one. It's been nice to see you. I'm going to be live streaming again more every single week, but now multiple times a week. Really, it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday are the most consistent days. And then Friday now it looks like we're going to be able to get in every Friday pretty much. And that's pretty much going to do it. That's going to be it. I'm going to cool down, jump into my next appointment, and then coaching, get more work done. I'll see you guys on the next live stream, which will be Sunday, most likely in the morning. But cheers, y'all. Good to see everybody. Later, everybody. Peace.